Ladies and gentlemen, in the clearest sign that I've been right since 2017, Joe Biden today, yesterday he engaged in a profanity-laced tirade against a union worker, an auto worker in Detroit. He obviously decimated and obliterated Bernie's campaign. Democrats are voting for Biden because they're petrified of Bernie Sanders, and they would, like I said, for the past 3 years, they were never going to let Bernie Sanders get close. Okay, they were never going to let Bernie Sanders win, just like they cheated Bernie Sanders in 2016. He also ran his movement, or whatever it is, into the ground for numerous reasons. The same pundits he couldn't endorse, that got $20 million in venture capital funding, made him into a social media creation. We can go on forever. Biden is not electable. That is being nice. Now, you're talking about somebody who's one fry short of a Happy Meal. He's not electable. I don't know what else. I'm abiding by YouTube policies. What do you want me to say? He's not electable. Now, today, this is very interesting. So Donald Trump Jr. actually retweeted or quoted the tweet of a really wonderful progressive pundit who perhaps doesn't really like my work anymore, but I used to be on his show a long time ago. So he writes, "You got to be kidding me." And then Donald Trump Jr. retweets him. And both tweets have a total of about 50,000 likes and 15,000. I don't have Twitter, okay? I don't have Twitter or Facebook. I'm just saying this is hilarious. Everything's going down the exact same way. I said, I don't know how, but Hillary Clinton's going to be nominee for 3 years. I wrote in the Huffington Post, Clinton 2020 is a reality. Get ready for 8 years of Trump. You can read the article in the Huffington Post that I wrote below in February of 2017. Now, I don't know if you can. The setup here is kind of difficult. I don't know if you can hear it, but here's Biden walking. They're asking him questions about the election that have nothing to do with what his answer is. His answer is, well, I didn't know that Bernie Sanders joined President Trump. Bernie didn't join President Trump. Okay, maybe in Biden, maybe Corn Pop put them together. Who knows? Maybe Corn Flakes and Grape Nuts joined Trump and Sanders together. Who knows? But here's listen to this. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's a different setup here.
With voters that you don't agree with, sir. Vice President, on the coronavirus, both targeting over this exchange this morning with the voter about guns. Any regrets about how you handled it?
Well, I'm surprised that Sanders is joining Trump. It's just surprising.
What?
Is joining Trump. I'm surprised that Sanders is joining Trump. Well, I'm surprised that Sanders is joining Trump. It's just surprising.
That's just surprising. What the? I'm surprised. He wasn't asked about that. First of all, that's not okay. Bernie didn't join Trump. Bernie is going to end his campaign very soon, within days. Okay. So I'm surprised that Sanders has joined Trump. That's surprising. Okay. So you mean to tell me I've been wrong? Everyone has dropped out. Bernie will play his part also. Bernie Sanders is not going into. He's going to lose Arizona, Ohio, Illinois, and Arizona, Ohio, Illinois, and Florida. Florida by an embarrassing margin. All right. He's going to lose all of these states. He knows this. Now, I understand people don't really see, both my channels are doing well, but, people are just like, well, I guess it's Biden. And then the average person might be like, I guess H.A. Goodman is, whatever. He's an interesting guy. And I guess, it's just going to be Biden now. It can't be Hillary. And I'm like, no. You're not seeing, people should be really watching everything I say because it's happening. See, this charade. Okay, Biden just said today, now listen to me clearly, now focus, now you focus, okay? Now don't become the vice president, the former vice. He just said today that it's surprising that Bernie has joined Trump. Bernie never joined Trump. Now you have Trump Jr. retweeting a progressive pundit. So everyone like on the left and President Trump's administration, and the whole planet knows what's going on. And then today I was going to do a segment on Philippe Reines saying that Clinton would be president in 2016 if the Hulu documentary came out then. Who knows? Maybe he's right. Maybe he's right. Probably not. Probably not, because you had, even with the Hulu documentary, you had the criminal probe that was actually a criminal probe, but it was covered up. So the FBI was investigating. There was top secret intelligence on servers outside of the United States government. You can't sugarcoat that. And there are depositions that are scheduled for Madam Secretary and Red Stone Tier and all of them. 5 years after it all took place. This will never end without indictments. So the left, you said the indictments were imminent. Yeah, you're going to wish the indictments were ever imminent. You're going to wish that the indictments took place because Clinton's running again in 2024. So she's going to lose again to Trump in 2020. She doesn't care. She'll write the book, what happened now, what happened next. This is what happened again. There you go. And it's far more lucrative. Look, Clinton losing to Trump is infinitely more lucrative. How much do you think they make? Hundreds of thousands, millions, depending on who you are within the Democratic Party. A consultant, a set designer, whatever. A person who sets up campaign rallies, whatever. Okay. This is going to be the biggest election of our lifetime because Clinton has it. She's taking just media, MSNBC, CNN, Washington Post, New York Times, all of them. Everyone's going to be writing articles. Can you believe like a phoenix from the ashes? It will be the biggest political story. Biden today said that. Okay, I don't know. Maybe okay. Who's wrong in this? The pragmatists that are always wrong, that say now that Biden is going to win the nomination. And so every single day he's saying things that only like you'd have to be in some kind of bizarre dream, some kind of surreal dream. Or Clinton has engaged in an obviously brilliant yet insidious political, nefarious political tactic or strategy. Every single person that had a chance to build delegates has dropped out. Okay, Mayor Pete had 15% in a whole bunch of places, California included. Amy Klobuchar could have won her state. You're talking about somebody who, you're talking about a whole bunch of people who could have easily made a name for themselves. Okay, Bill de Blasio, by the way, never really intended on becoming president. That's a newsflash. Okay, even New Yorkers were laughing about that. Do you think what's more likely? Bill de Blasio was actually thought he could become president, or Hillary Clinton managed to create the most impeccable theatrical performance and charade where media and the average person is saying, well, Clinton's not running. And yet you have 30 people who are unelectable, Bernie included. Bernie 2016 was not only electable, he was the best choice for Democrats because he wasn't a media creation that devoted his life to one policy that Democrats don't even want, which is Medicare for All. Medicare for All in 2016 was just one of many policies. He talked about foreign policy in 2016. He wanted to bring home Americans. That was a pillar of what he was about. Not so in 2020. He also wanted to break up too big to fail banks in 2016. But he talked about alleviating poverty. He talked about all these things. President Trump, 5 million people have been lifted out of poverty. This is a fact. 43.1 million Americans under President Obama were stuck in poverty. In 2016, there's now 38.1 million. 43.1 to 38.1. That's 5 million Americans lifted out of poverty. 6 million jobs created. Wages up, household median income up, real disposable income up. So you can look at the St. Louis Fed graphs, record low Black and Latino unemployment, record low unemployment nationally. So if you look, President Trump's great economy signed a peace deal to bring home Americans from America's longest-running intervention, longest-running military conflict, longest-running war. So Bernie Sanders in 2016, different ballgame. He appealed to conservatives also in 2016. His zero appeal to conservatives in 2020. Now it's all about socialism and you know, he actually shied away from that word in 2016. So 2020, different story. Anyway, we can go on forever. You have 2.7 million people who saw this clip where Biden, okay, so Biden claims that Bernie Sanders joined Trump, and then he says, isn't that interesting, or whatever he said at the end. He was, by the way, that wasn't even an answer to any of the questions. The questions were just a whole, like, you know, a barrage of just, you know, questions pertaining to news stories. And then he says, yeah, you know, Bernie joined Trump. You heard the clip. I don't know if you this setup right here, the speakers, you know, whatever. But Hillary Clinton's going to be the nominee. All right. It is not going to take much for Democrats to say, wait a second, we can't go with Biden. See, Biden defeated Bernie because they're petrified of Bernie. And Bernie's campaign became a media creation. That's it. He's not Bernie Sanders is not running this year on anything that could possibly pass Congress. Okay? Or he's not running on anything that one would think in 2016 he would do what President Trump is doing. So signing a peace deal with you know, and bringing home Americans, you didn't have to run through Congress. So Trump is doing what Bernie in 2016 stated that he would do, bring home Americans and quagmires. Okay, but in 2016, we didn't have a President Trump to do that. So one hoped, when I wrote in the Huffington Post, The Hill, and Salon, and all my writing was given a stamp of approval by the editors at those publications. When I said, you know, Clinton's the far better choice, Bernie Sanders was a far better choice. I was the unofficial scribe of Sanders' most hardcore voters, according to the Washington Post. There was a clear choice. It was either Bernie Sanders or a person who engaged in criminal acts with a server just to hide communication, unencrypted the server for 4 years. A server that was servers that were outside of the United States government, hiding communication and managing to transfer and store top secret intelligence on them. This is a fact. Even Comey stated. Complete fact. That's all facts. But anyway, you have Max Boot and Bill Kristol voting for Hillary Clinton. So there was a clear delineation between Bernie and Max Boot and Bill Kristol and Clinton at that point. Now you have President Trump doing what Bernie 2016 wished that he could have done. Okay, that appeals to everybody from libertarians to conservatives, whatever. Bringing home Americans appeals to all Americans. Not so in 2020. 2020, you focus solely on Medicare for all, and you can't pass it through Congress because we know that the Democrats in the House don't want it. Democrats in the Senate don't even want the Green New Deal. The AFL-CIO doesn't even want the Green New Deal. So you have all of this pontificating and preaching and moralizing and yelling and shouting and, you know, none of these policies can pass a Democratic. The fact that the House is run by Democrats and the fact that they don't want any of Bernie's policies is also very, very bad for his campaign in 2020. At least you had the possibility in 2016 that that Democrats in the House would want his policies. That's another issue too. So, but it really doesn't matter. Bernie's done. He's done. The venom and vitriol against Bernie Sanders is far worse than they have against Trump or Trump supporters. But give me your thoughts below. What more has to happen? What does he have? Like, what does this guy have to do? Take his clothes off and run down the street naked? And then even then, they'll be like, honestly, he's being free. He's like, oh, so that's okay. That's not okay now. He's not allowed to express himself. Okay, you're a bad person. It's like, what? This is not working out well. Meanwhile, Hillary is just everyday Clinton Hulu documentary. Clinton is just the remake of Madam Secretary. Do you think anyone understands that top secret intelligence was stored on private servers? Nobody cares. Nobody wants to know on the left. They just care about the Hulu documentary. And by the way, the average Biden voter is not a Biden voter. They're a Hillary Clinton supporter. They just have to vote for Biden because he's the only person stopping Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders is not the epitome of what Democrats are. Trump, in many ways, is the epitome of what a conservative is. Even though, the milk-drinking, good conservative, hair-coiffed type people are like, oh, I like him, but I don't like his personality. Well, you know what? Trump's personality is a lot better than Hillary's, but Hillary's is like, has the makeover of like, Clinton's personality has... People love Hillary Clinton now. They love, because the Hulu documentary, it's brilliant. She's running with this documentary. She could actually defeat Trump. She won't. Clinton will lose to Trump again. But if it's Biden, he doesn't even get the popular vote. Clinton would get the popular vote again and lose again in the Electoral College. But she could get close. And people underestimate the love and the passion that Democrats have for Hillary Clinton still. I'm saying this as somebody who has called this from day one in 2017. Bernie bros or Bernie, there's like, for every Bernie bro or whatever, for every person who's Bernie or bust, there's 10,000 Bernie supporters who will just vote Democrat. The vast majority of Bernie supporters are going to vote Democrat. They're not going to, the online people, 2% of people on Twitter provide 2 to 4% provide almost all the tweets on Twitter. 80 to 100% of the tweets. Okay, so you're talking about 2% of Americans. Of that, what sliver, what tiny percentage are hardcore Bernie supporters? Okay, now that the Democrats don't care about those like voices. They don't care. Democrats don't care. They use Bernie Sanders and the pundits around him that Bernie can't even endorse to funnel progressive votes back into the Democratic Party. That's it. That's it. And now you have Biden, who is a placeholder, just like, okay, Amy Klobuchar and Mayor Pete left right before Super Tuesday. Michael Bloomberg the day after Super Tuesday. Elizabeth Warren after Super Tuesday. Bernie Sanders, he'll drop out either in a couple days or right after March 17th when he loses all 4 states, or March 24th when he loses Georgia. Bernie has 0 chance to win Ohio, Florida, Arizona, Illinois, or Georgia. That's 5 states. So he's going to lose miserably all 5 states for what? So the Democrats never in a million years even think about Medicare for all again? What's he going to do? What is his point? Now, in 2016, when people say, oh, you said that he would do it. No, I said up until July 5th, before Comey covered up all of Madam Secretary's wonderful crimes. Top secret intelligence on servers. Comey covered that up, and then he said no reasonable prosecutor. Up until July 5th, Bernie Sanders was running against somebody who, if their name wasn't Clinton, would have been indicted. So, yeah, that's obvious, but nobody wanted to see the reality. And then I said Clinton would lose to Trump, so I accurately called that election. And in 2015, NPR quoted me. The article is below. They quoted me and Nate Silver. This is the second election I will have called accurately. Give me your thoughts below. What's next? Does he have to take off his clothes and run down the street? What's next? So Hillary's there, and everybody knows it. And she stated a couple weeks back, I feel the urge to run. I can defeat Trump again. I've kept the door open. She's been very honest, just like the intelligence agencies were very honest. We're like, yeah, we don't know. We're highly confident to moderate. Our judgments about Russia hacking the DNC could be wrong, but, we'll run with it because people truly want to believe it. And Hillary is being honest, too. Hillary Clinton is being more honest than she ever has, even though people think, no, she's like, oh, yeah, I kept the door open. And nobody wants to believe it. They're like, no. It's all above board. It's like, no, don't live in a matrix. Understand what's taking place. Everyone has their role. Clinton's going to be nominee again. It's a political machine. Look up Boss Tweed. We've had this. Not as bad, but we've had this in American history. Give me your thoughts. Thank you so very much. Ladies and gentlemen, people don't realize it. I will have predicted, this is the biggest political prediction of all time that I will have made. It's just a matter of time. Give me your thoughts. Hillary Clinton's going to be nominee, just like I said in 2017 in the Huffington Post. Clinton 2020 is a reality. Hillary Clinton 2020 is a reality. Get ready for 8 years of Trump. Read the article. Give me your thoughts. Thank you so much. If you want to support my voice long term, my Patreon is below. Your support is greatly appreciated. Subscribe to H.A. Goodman's other channel right this second. The link